Hi, can you hear me? Hello, hello. Happy Mother's Day. Do you all hear me? Moderator? All right, I'll give it a second. See if I hear you. Hello? All right, anyone? All right, so do you hear me? Hello, Road Trip Sessions. How are you? Thanks for joining. Do you hear me clearly? First and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful women out there, including myself. Thank God that we are able to commit. Some of us have been able to complete our jobs. Some people haven't, but it's still Happy Mother's Day to all of us that have done our part. Basically, I just wanted to do this episode because a lot of people believe that being a mother is giving birth to a child, is specifically yours, your natural born child, and it's not. There's many mothers out here, and so I wanted to come together on this beautiful Mother's Day and explain how I see motherhood, as I see celebrating Mother's Day. It was for all, but um, some of us have not participated to be celebrating, but who are we to judge, right? So I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you that do your job over and more than. Your children appreciate you. I appreciate you. We all appreciate you, mother and father. And the mother and father, the fathers that are taking on mother's roles. Also, there are a lot of special moms, I call them. They also take on the roles of the mother because they have been there as either aunts, godmothers, and even friends that you can say that person was like a mother to me. So that's really important. Special moms, you rock. Like I said, this is not about just people that gave birth because anyone could put up their hind legs and give birth. And I've seen the hyenas, and it's not making fun, it's just to get funny. Not all of us are hyenas, that's a joke. But some people can act like it, and it's disgraceful at sometimes, But you know what? You don't know what's wrong with that person, what they had to go through, if they have any mental illnesses, or the reason why they're not functioning properly as a parent, as a mother. Because we're talking about mothers this week. We'll do Father's Day actually. So my title is: Do you think that of this episode, Know Your Truth, Real Talk, is do you think that they should celebrate being a mother, a mom on Mother's Day? The thing is, should they participate? What does motherhood look like to you? Because I know what it looks like to me. Is it fair to celebrate when you don't participate? Now that's the part that is really interesting, and I wanted to ask this question: how do you feel about that? Yeah, we're not judging. We just, putting our airing out things that people wouldn't talk about. They probably consider it taboo to even ask questions like that and certain things. And that's what this show is about. So that things that aren't asked on other shows or other platforms, and maybe they are, I like to bring it to this platform. My content is usually to explore your mind and see what your truth is. So come on, bring your truth on Know Your Truth, Real Talk. So, we all have opinions on what a mother should be, what they should look like, but do we really look into the way that mothers are expected to be in a certain way? Some people specify they should look this way, they should be this way. Um, those same people who point fingers should reflect on themselves and not on others. Like I said, this is not a judgmental show, so we don't judge, but these things do come out where other people do point fingers. It may seem like I'm pointing a finger, but I'm just bringing the content, um, how do you say, highlighting it so that we can see it and make your own determination. Your determination is your determination, and my determination is my determination. So, um, we're here. This is a free channel talk show so that you can discuss what the platform topic is that day. And so I like to bring that forward to you so you know. And please like, subscribe, and share. Liking is really important so it can get around. You subscribe if you want to subscribe. You can come back when you want to come back. If the topic's for you, it's for you. If it's not, the next show, it's fine. It's really good. So when I was talking about this, how mothers they consider, um, it's very opinionated that some mothers are looked at certain ways because of how they look or whatever the case may be. Those people that point the fingers um, should point it to themselves. And sometimes they believe, or we all believe, why do these mothers celebrate on Mother's Day if they're not doing their part? Because the mother is the first love to their child or children. That's the first person they see and know. Fathers too. Your day is next week. We talk about. I mean, next month we talk about mothers today. Um, until we finally meet them when they are born. So it's like you know them your whole life because they've been in your body, they've been there for 9 months. And you know what the special thing is, that's nice and all. But then we have mothers that didn't have to do that, and they do more than some mothers that have actually um, not only given birth, but actually has carried their children for 9 months or whatever length of time that they have. And you got those special moms. So this is what this subject is about today, that there's nothing more miraculous than having children, but at the same time, um, there are those that haven't had and do just as much and more for our children or children in general. It's not gonna always be by birth or blood that makes you a mom, because we have stepfathers. I mean, sorry, stepmothers. We have grandmothers, guardians, adoptive parents, godmothers, and aunts, and I call special moms who have filled the role of mothers for a lot of people. So we cannot just look at one person or one type being that they were blood related or natural born from that person, that they are actually going to be a mom or act like a mom, because most of them don't. I wouldn't say most, but a little majority do not. Mothers and fathers. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start off with the subject of what not being a mother is, because I'm going to do the comparison of uh, mother, being a mother and versus being a mom. So we're going to start off with what not being a mother is, which is really, really important. And this is what I see in my own experiences. I mean, we all um, make mistakes in life, but in my experiences outside and inside work, this is what I see what not being a mother is. Just because you gave birth to a child does not necessarily make you a mother. Anyone can give birth to a child, but not take on the responsibilities of them in the manner that they are expected to be, as it is expected as a mother, I should say, you know? And there are a lot of unwanted and abandoned children. That's number two, right, out here. And those mothers, for whatever reason they have for leaving their children behind, does not include them or whatever, to they go out and enjoy this day as well. This is how not to. This is what I call what not being a mother is. They'll celebrate this day, but all year round they're not doing their duties as a mother. So that's important that they check themselves, because you can't just celebrate something and not do it all year round, because that's not, something that you were gifted a child to do to a child. So for whatever reason they have for leaving their children or abandoning them, um, does not include them to enjoy or celebrate the day of only because we feel that this day is sacrificed for those that have done their job. But that's just what Mother's Day is supposed to be about. But we see it in doing something other than that around the world, where some parents come out when children get rich or when they're in need of something. And so then I'm your mom, or whatever the case may be. And those children are like, wait a minute, I've never seen you, you've never done anything, but these are the ones celebrating anyway. Number three, having a child with someone just to keep them stuck. This is not what I consider a mom. Just to keep that person stuck. or to get money from them, because I've seen this in the courts and personal experience from a lot of people, just because they want a paycheck because they're not doing their part at work or they don't make enough money. I've seen a lot of people and heard a lot of females say that is their plan so that they can have their extra monies on the side no matter what. And of course, they want to hold on to someone so they can do whatever they do. But I'm not going to go there today because this is a happy Mother's Day, right, everyone? So just to keep them stuck or to get money from them, this is what I consider not a mom, not a mother type. You know, no. They usually do this to manipulate the person that they're with, the father at this point, and the children will get manipulated too sometimes. If the mother's intentions were usually manipulative, the children will see that you should not ever be in a relationship with someone that manipulates the process. But this is not what this is about, because your children become manipulated and then they are manipulators later. So when you have children, make sure you're having them for the right reasons. They didn't ask to be here. You wanted them here. You do your job for them. So and I've seen mothers that dislike their fathers so much, or their husband, spouse, partner so much that afterwards, once they give birth, or they do it on just because, um, they give that interpretation of negativity, and that doesn't help the child because the child feels that, and as they grow older, they feel less of a person. Because remember, we're 50% father and 50% mother. So you got female, male, okay, and 50% of each. Now you loved each other when you were together, and now you don't. Let's just say scenario. And now the children growing up, you're not together. The mother, we're going to use mothers right now because this is Mother's Day show. Mother's mouth off about the father consistently, which should never happen, because once you do that in a household, not only is the father being degraded, I would say that they always are also being unappreciated, and the children feel that, and some children will actually start disrespecting their fathers, whether they live in the household or not, due to what the mother is saying there. This is why we do not talk about anything about each other and to our children or around our children, because if we do that, these children have 50% of you and 50% of them. They're not going to feel whole, and that's what I was trying to get to before I get into another story. And I've seen that around a lot of children in the family courts, outside, everywhere, not all the time, but like, let's say maybe I've seen it 5% of my lifetime, um, since I've seen these children hurt because of the cruelty, just because it ends with you and them. Do not take it out on children. Children don't deserve that, and it had nothing to do with them in the first place. At one point, you did love that person. If that has changed, it has changed. You still love your children no matter what. All right, so now we're going to go to versus what being a mom is. And I actually believe that being a mother, I'm not saying anyone could give birth, but anyone could have a child that can give birth, but not be a mother. So how does that make sense? A mom is someone to me that's always going to be around. They're a mother and a mom. They relate on both roles. A mom is someone that's actively in your life, actively doing what they need to do, whether it's you're a natural born or foster child, adopted child, a stepchild, whatever the case is. That's a mom. They're going to be there. They're going to do their part. You could call them a stepmom if you need to. Godparent is a mom. Moms, to me, are generally, like you would say, he's a father, but he's not a dad. The same thing here. So this is what I think a mom, being a mom is. First, a mom who gives her all for her children, who makes them a priority in her life, for example, her work, and everything else is secondary. They are her primary focus and reason to wake up every day. That's a mom who spends time with her children, getting to know them as they grow. Even if you have a job, I have a job, I have two children, and my job, I had to go to school, college, and work with them. So it can be done. It's not easy, but it has to be done if you think about it. You can make. No one should say I can't and I don't have enough time for a child. Period. Let's leave it at that one, and we'll move on. um, learning to make time for yourself, to make time not only for yourself but for your children, like attending a child would love a mom who spends time with them, and get to know them as they grow. Talking with them, playing with them. I did this with my children, going to their class trips, learning together, making time for each other, cooking together, whatever the case. And it's okay if it's a boy child, you can cook with them. They're not, they're gonna need to learn how to fend for themselves and not have to wait on anyone. So baking, cooking, all of that, that's a beautiful thing to share with children. Also share with their playmates and making time for them at home as well. Like I used to do family time, I still do. Movie time, this and that, and it's beautiful. Another one is a mom does not put her children at risk by leaving them home alone, to be fed for themselves, nor do they choose work or dates over their children. So this is very important that mothers will do, some mothers, but moms, nope, they're 100%. I remember being asked to go here and there after work parties, and I had my children really young, so I didn't change that because I was young that I'm just gonna go party. I said no, I'm going straight home to my children after work. I love them. I want to spend time with them, but not everyone is there mentally, so that's sad. But either way, the experience is really needed because these children will remember as they grow older. And remember, there's some people that have lost their moms, so happy Mother's Heavenly Mother's Day to those mothers that has already transitioned. I forgot to say that. So it's really important that we take the time to appreciate them now while they're here. Um, like I said, a mom doesn't put herself at risk, her children at risk, leaving them home alone to fend for themselves, and they always choose them first, which is the last thing I had to say about mom. But there's so much more. We have some mothers that were actually abused or neglected by their own mothers, and but it did or didn't affect them being a mother, and some it did, and that is what we call childhood trauma. That's what children experience once they've actually went through a pragmatic childhood. So we call it childhood trauma, where sometimes a mother was also abused or neglected. Yeah, we can't blame them for that, but sometimes they could be mentally messed up. So we can forgive them and move forward. But what they do with that later is what's important. Because are you going to stay in that mental status, or are you going to move forward and upward from it? So, like I was saying, there are some mothers that were abused before they had their children by their own mothers, but do their jobs as being a mother because they wouldn't want their children or child to experience the trauma they went through. And then in contrast, like I said, we have those mothers who pick up the same bad habits that were carried down from generation to generation, because they felt neglected and abused, and an unhealed mother would do the same to their own children, which is sad, which is why I say some of them may have mental health issues. Um, Sometimes that they consider it happening to them. When you consider it, it's called, like I said, childhood trauma. And that type of trauma can either change, you can either change it or you can remain the same. Because everybody has at least a family member that went through childhood trauma, and I'm not going to explain what that is, but that's usually when a father and mother situation doesn't work out, things happen, or abuse, neglect, domestic violence was in the home, those type of things are childhood, just examples of childhood trauma, I'm sorry, and it's drama, dramatic. Yeah, it is. And so with that, we can either change it or remain the same. Each person has to make the choice of what they believe is best for them, or if they really look into it, we need to do what's best for the child, our children, the children. That's more important than considering yourself and what you went through, because what you went through, you made it through, you're still here. Let's do it for our children. So, my question to everyone today is, do you think that they should also celebrate being a mother or mom on Mother's Day? I'm wondering if you do think that they have the right. We're not here to judge, but do you think? So let me know later if you're not on right now, because I had internet problems, but that doesn't stop me. And if not, leave your answer there if you feel that what your feelings are, if you feel that they should also celebrate when they didn't participate. Well, I'm going to give you my opinion. And some people will like it, and some people won't. But let me explain myself. My opinion is that mothers who put their children first, moms who put their children first, shouldn't have to celebrate it with those who did the total opposite. We go to restaurants, they're filled up, and when you look at it, I'm not going to say the majority of those people are mothers and not mothers. I don't know that, but just imagine that, right? All right, and it's more than that, but we'll move forward. Everyone can make that decision. Everyone can make that decision to change their mindset, or if they choose not to, then don't. I don't believe that they earn the right to celebrate Mother's Day until they change. I think so. Until you can make that change, get therapy, go to a mother's class or whatever they have now, motherhood, parenthood. Those changes can help you retain your title. Because if your child is calling you by your first name, then you didn't do your job. Not necessarily, but it's disrespectful. So that's how we were brought up, that you should never have to call your mother by her first name if she did her job. But I just believe that they need to earn the right to celebrate Mother's Day, and until they change the mindset, amount of people who would love to the amount of people who would love to have children and appreciate them, like I said, those special moms are the ones to be celebrated today and every day throughout the year. I also believe those special moms, like I said, should be appreciated on Mother's Day, every day or throughout the year, all of us, for Mother's Day, for stepping up to the plate, special moms, and taking on or sharing the responsibilities and the role of a mother. And we are so grateful to you. And those special moms, I labeled you already. You could be stepmoms, godmothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers. You their mother. If you were ever with them, you're their mother. Grandmother, whatever the case is, you're their mother. If you were that person there, a friend could be your mother because they were there, your mom's friend or sister or anyone that is there can be a mother and a mom. So, with that being said, I wanted to just tell you all how I felt about the matter. And I gave you my opinion. I'd like to hear your opinions on that question that I gave. Do you think they should also celebrate if they haven't participated? And with that being said, there's no judgment here. This is a free forum um, to speak your truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk. So I want to wish you all a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And special thank you from me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, for all the special moms out there that have done their job. Oh, thank you, that have done their job and continue to do their job. Hold your heads up. You are great. You're loved and you're protected. God always see people that have done their job when He lends the children, our children, to us. And if you don't believe that, go read it. Either way, thank you for joining my show. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm ready to eat. And I hope you have a special Mother's Day. Those that really have done the job, we are so thankful to all of you, for protecting the children, for being there for the children, whether they're yours or not, which I said is not important anymore. we put too many titles on things that don't deserve the title. But in that case, like I said, from me, Judge Desire, from Knowledge, you special moms, you rock. And here on Know Your Truth, Real Talk. Oh, there's a bee all around me. Real Talk with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, where you are going to hear the truth and nothing but the truth is adjourned. I will see you next week. Okay, B, we're friends. I will see you next week, Saturday at 3 o'clock. Know Your Truth Real Talk will be on again. I'm not sure if it's live. It looks like that right now. And if you haven't gotten to this video and you got into the end, go check it out. It's all right. It's not bad. It's just opinionated. Hopefully not judge. I didn't judge anybody. All right, so I love you all. Thank you, and welcome to the JD4K family. If this is your first time, don't let it be your last time. Thank you to all my subscribers. Blessings, love to all of you. Ciao.